So here it is, all installed. I have it next to the arbor that I've been using for about a year and a half. So here's the Bramford, here's the arbor. I can't fit both of the base plates next to each other, so this one's going to look a little bit shorter, but these two faucets really are, I mean, they're basically twins in different outfits. They have the exact same plumbing, same connections, same electronics box, same function. They just have slightly different aesthetics to it. But looking over it, I mean, you can see it in the pictures on Amazon, but it's just got a gorgeous look to it. It's a very nice faucet. The handle swings very easily. I'm not going to operate it here. I apologize. I installed it and then realized I can't really move it without bumping into that piece on my sink. Here's the pull-down spout. There, it retracts by itself. It's weighted underneath the sink on the hose, just part of the installation. So here are the sensors on the top and on the bottom. I have them deactivated at the moment, but I'll turn it on. So if you hold your hand over the top of the one on the neck for 5 seconds, roughly, it'll activate it. You can do the same to disengage the sensors. So the sensor on the top is one that, if you wave your hand over it, it'll stay on for up to 2 minutes. Then it'll shut itself off if you don't shut it off. But if you just wave your hand over the top again, it'll shut off. And I'm saying hand, you can wave anything over that you want. I often use my elbow when my hands are full. So the top one will stay on. The one on the front is a proximity sensor. So it'll turn on and off as you move your hand into and away from it. So showing off some of the aspects of the spout. So there's a button here on the back. So right now it's a stream. You push to go to a spray and it will stay on as long as you have water pressure. One of the things about both the Bramford and the arbor that I really like is this function. So you can push it in and pause it. So if you have a bucket over the side, say you're using a mop, you can pause it without using the handle. Let go, it turns back on. Another aspect of this is that if you have it in the spray, when you shut it off, turn it back on, it goes back to the stream. That's just because this button is held in place with the water pressure. So when the water turns off, it clicks back to its default state. So with the ones with the sensors don't move as far as these same models that don't have the sensors. They are locked in terms of going about plus or minus 45 degrees away from it. And you also have to mount the handle on the right-hand side. It's just the way that they're set up, because these will not swing any further than this. And now a quick look at that control box under your sink, just to show off. This is where you adjust the water temperature when you're using the sensors. So blue and red for hot and cold, and you just twist that dial to whatever temperature you want. And now look at what's in the box and some installation notes, because when you first open the box, it can look pretty intimidating. So let me take it out of the box and show you what's there. Okay, so maybe this doesn't look less intimidating now that I look at it. So let me whip through it real quick, the different pieces, and then I'm going to talk about installation, just the different steps. So hopefully it'll make it seem less intimidating, because it really isn't that difficult. This is the second one that I will have installed, and the first one wasn't too bad. So just going through the things here, instruction manual or installation manual, a pamphlet about the motion sense sensors. This is just a tool to help you install these nuts for the under sink mounting hardware. This is a weight that goes onto the hose. It helps the spout retract. This is the optional 3-hole base, the main fixture here with the water lines and electrical cable here that goes to the sensors. This is the spout. Here is the electronics box that runs the sensors, has the solenoids that makes the water flow, battery pack, batteries, very nice if they include those, and then some other hoses that you're going to attach. So to go through how everything goes together, so let's just get these out of the way. This is optional, so you don't have to use this, but you can if you have 3 holes or you just like the look. So you're going to put this in place. You're then going to thread these 3 water hoses and this electrical line down through it, and then secure this in place. So this is threaded. You're then going to put this under your sink and then screw this in place using this, and then all this is all secure. So now you have something that looks pretty much like a faucet in place just by threading this through a hole and then screwing that up. So the next step is the electronics box here. So this has places where you can mount it to a wall. You may want to leave it loose at first until you get some of the various hoses hooked up to make sure that you have it in a place under your sink where you can get everything routed, all the cords reach it, and everything set up, and then hard mount it into place. But once you're under the sink, so you're going to have these water hoses here, you're going to have an electronics box. It can get a little confusing, and Moen has done a very nice thing. So when you're underneath there, you can't see where everything's going, but these are all labeled. 1, 2, and 3. And then on the electronics box, they have 1, 2, and 3. And these are quick disconnect fixtures. So they just push right in. You take the plastic protective cap off and then push it right into place. And then there's a fourth one here, labeled number 4. And this hose here has number 4 on it, connects right up into it. So it's all labeled very nicely once you get underneath there what to hook up. These two cables here go into your main water supply. So this one's labeled hot, so this one's the cold one. So then this hose here is what you connect. You just push this down through this hole, comes out the bottom here, so it's underneath your sink, and you connect it up with this hose. And then the side here is up here, and you just screw this into it. And then the battery pack hooks up right down in here, and this port here is where you connect this. So hopefully that wasn't too much babbling, but the big point is once you get this mounted, it's really pretty straightforward. Everything is well labeled. You can hook it up. The biggest difference between this and any other faucet is finding a place to put this under your sink. And it does have solenoids that, so when you trip the sensors, they click on and off. So this will move a little bit, so it's best to have it mounted down pretty securely under your sink. And here's that control box after I have it installed. So I have it screwed up against the cabinet. You see the 3 water lines on the top. Those are the ones coming from the main faucet body with the quick disconnects. And then on the bottom of it, there's the 2 lines on either side that go to the hot and cold water lines. And then the number 4 hose connected there. And here's a close-up showing those 2 electrical cables, one from the battery pack